Are you ready to transform your summer into an epic splash-tastic adventure? Say goodbye to wasteful, single-use water balloons and hello to the ultimate in reusable, eco-friendly fun with reusable water balloons. Check out the link in the video description to get yours on Amazon today.
A killer who bound and gagged a legal executive before stabbing her son to death when she didn't pay enough for a sham marriage scheme has been jailed for at least 30 years. Rich's Obi, 25, was found slumped on the floor by the front door of a flat in Elephant and Castle with slash and stab wounds to his chest on November 17, 2020. His mother Bernadette Ortet, who worked for Obadiah Rose solicitors specializing in immigration and nationality law, was found with her ankles and wrists restrained by cable ties in a bedroom. Jurek Kroes, 38, was found guilty of the murder of Mr. Obi and the false imprisonment of Ms. Ortet at the Old Bailey in May. He had fled the country for Colombia after the killing but was later extradited. Judge Nigel Leclerc, KC, described it as a vicious and savage attack as he sentenced Kroes to life imprisonment today and ordered him to serve a minimum term of 30 years. His co-defendants Savanka Martis, 33, Rachel Philomena, 39, were cleared of murder and manslaughter but were both convicted of the false imprisonment of Ms. Ortet. Martis was also convicted of perverting the course of justice by assisting with transport from the scene, obtaining medical supplies and clothing and making arrangements for Kroes to leave the country. Martis was jailed for 11.5 years, while Philomena received 7.5 years. Prosecutor Jennifer Knight, KC, had told the jury Ms. Ortet and the defendants were likely engaged in a sham marriage scheme. She said, "The background to the offenses seems to lie in a sham marriage scheme in which all three of these defendants and Bernadette Ortet were engaged. And it seems likely that these defendants had become angry in some way about the money they were getting for their part in the scheme and they went to Bernadette Ortet's flat on November 17 determined to demand and get money from her." Police were called to a reported stabbing at a flat in Bramwell House, Harper Road, at around 11 p.m. on November 17, 2020. Ms. Knight said, "They found the front door of the flat partially open and on pushing the front door they found it came open easily and they saw immediately a great deal of blood on the door, the floor, the walls. And they saw a young man lying on the floor. He was unresponsive and didn't appear to be breathing. Her was a young man called Rich's Obi. There was a great deal of blood on the walls around him and as they got close they could see he had stab and slash wounds on his chest." The first officer in called out to find out if there was anyone else in the flat and heard a woman's voice calling to them from inside saying, "I'm here." Following the sounds of her repeated calls they made their way through the flat until they found Rich's Obi's mother Bernadette Ortet in a bedroom. Her wrist and ankles were bound with cable ties and there was a scarf around her neck which seemed to have fallen from her mouth having been used to gag her. The room was heavily stained with blood, on the bed, door, and furniture, up the walls and on the ceiling. Paramedics tried to save Mr. Obi's life, but he had multiple wounds to his chest, abdomen, and back and died of cardiac arrest. Ms. Knight said, 2 knives were found in the bedroom where Bernadette Ortet and been cable tied as well as a black New York Yankee baseball cap. Officers cut the cable ties on her wrist and ankles, and she was reluctant to stay in the flat and was taken to her daughter's home. An officer began to search the flat and it was apparent there was heavy bloodstaining all over it, in particular Rich's Obi's bedroom, and it was clear there had been a search in that room of drawers, cupboards, and boxes. There was a roll of duct tape under his chair. The door to Bernadette Ortet's room seems to have been forced and inside the room were an open packet of cable ties. Police found that the cable ties had a price sticker showing they'd been bought from Camberwell Superstores. CCTV from the store identified Martis as the buyer, the court heard. In the living room, police found documents in the names of Kroes and Philomena, including passports, employee forms, energy bills, and Netherlands ID cards. Neither Jurek Kroes nor Rachel Philomena were clients of Obadiah Rose solicitors. These were documents that were necessary to the sham marriages being arranged for them, Ms. Knight said. Martis had received a T.E.